What's good, Josh? Your boy J Swab. I'm the host of J Swab TV. Just like that, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms spinoff is officially done with its first season. And as soon as it arrived, you really hate to see it. But I did love this season, I gotta admit. And they ended it on a great note, in my opinion, setting up some great expectations going into season 2. So we gonna talk about all that in this video. Anything I gotta say out all in this little recap of the episode / the season. You already know what you gotta do. Go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, follow. If you want TikTok right now, go ahead and follow. Let's talk about this episode. So I'm not gonna lie, this is not gonna be no structured episode recap. We're gonna talk about everything that happened in the episode outside of the conversation that Dunk had with Sir Ireland in the middle of the episode. I have to go back and rewatch that scene. Probably making it into its own video in terms of what was really spoken on. It wasn't really much speaking from what I remember. On Sir Ireland's part, like, he faked dead for a lot of that. But I do think that there was a message that was gained in that conversation that I missed. So I gotta go back and rewatch that. I might put it in a short, but I'm gonna talk about damn near everything else that happened in this episode. So this episode, and obviously is the aftermath of that elite 7v7 and the one before. Dunk is beaten, battered, bruised, all the bad B words. He's chilling with Sir Lionel Baratheon, who is just glad that bro is still alive. Telling him, yo, after this 7v7, not gonna lie, we gotta go see the realm. We gotta go there, we gotta go there. I'm gonna take you here, you can be my brother here, all that. Dunk's not trying to hear none of this. He's like, yo, can you let me grieve, bro? A man who was just about to knight me just died. It was because of me. He fought on my behalf, and now he's gone. Sir Lionel not trying to hear none of that. He's like, bro, he chose to fight for you. At the end of the day, whether you won or lost, he was still going to be good regardless. If we being honest, I really fought for you. I really put my life on the line for you. He, the Apple Kid, etc. We all put our lives on the line for you, bro. Targaryen would have been fine anyway. It's a blessing that we have one less one on this earth. We learn later on in this episode why someone like Lionel would say that. Now, we already know how bad the Targaryens are really from House of the Dragon. To Dunk, this is somebody who put his life on the line literally to fight alongside him. Had Baelor not fought alongside Dunk, he probably would have got executed for not having the mandatory 7 that he needed to participate in the 7v7 duel against Aerion. And this episode does a great job of showing that just because the Targaryen as a whole are not good people, doesn't mean that there can't be good ones out the bunch. You see Dunk go into the town, he's getting mixed reception from people who are on one side applauding him for doing what he did and fighting off against Aerion. And at the other end, they're like, yo, this guy done got Baelor killed for real. He still got Apple Boy, his one mans. They go ahead and hug because Dunk is really feeling it. You know, he just got done talking to Baelor's son, who outlived his father, who died in his armor. And he asked Dunk the question, you know, why did the gods favor you over my dad? So Dunk's feeling a lot of survivor's guilt in this moment. Obviously, Baelor feeling the need to fight for bro. And unfortunately, losing his life is a tough situation to have to go through. So it's good that he has a friend that he can lean on in this situation. But he quickly gets reminded that that's all he has is a friend. As we learn in this episode that Apple Boy is actually married. Congrats to him. That's good stuff. She looked like she was fake checking out Dunk, though. But good on him, though. Now, all this happens before the Targaryens come to pick up Dunk. That Maker Targaryen has requested to see him. Dunk pulls up, and Maker is telling him, look, my son, he requires an elite knight to squire for. Now, Egg says that he will not squire for anybody other than you, Sir Duncan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some elite arrangements for y'all. We're going to do it in Summer Hall or wherever it's called. Y'all going to go over there. He can squire for you. I have my most elite knight get you right. Bars. As tempting of an offer as this is, Dunk initially declined, talking about, I'm kind of good off princes for right now. Egg overhears this conversation. He waits for him in the hallway. They start up some small talk, and Dunk's like, what's this really about, bro? Egg's like, so you really not gonna let me squire for you for real? Dunk's like, I said I'm good. And that's when Egg tells him, man, maybe you're not the knight that I thought you were. W gaslight from a young Egg. We'll say though, I mean, he's a young bull, so he's not really understanding why Dunk's saying what he's saying. Like, messing with you literally got the man that I aspire to be like dead. And it almost got me killed too. Your family is taboo. I'm not trying to rock with that respectfully. As much as he likes Egg, he's not trying to go through that again. And maybe the things that Lionel was telling him earlier on in the episode is saying with him, like, damn, are the Targaryens really all bad for real? That's when he runs into his brother at a brothel, Daeron, I think his name is. He starts mentioning that his brother wasn't always all bad. That's when Dunk says Egg is not a bad kid. That's when Daeron says, nah, I was talking about Aerion. We'll definitely make a great man out of Egg, no doubt. And that's when Dunk's like, damn, maybe I do gotta save this kid for real. He spins back on Maker and says, look, I will let your son squire for me, but they gotta be under my rules. I'm talking, we gonna be traveling all around the world. We might be sleeping in dirt someday, eating rats, others. You get what I'm saying? But Maker wasn't going for that. He's like, yo, my son is of royalty. He's my last chance to make my life feel like it meant something. So, nah, I'm not going for that. Dunk hears this and he's like, well, I can't say I didn't try. Sometime after this conversation, Egg is about to do some nut stuff. He picks up a dagger and is literally about to kill Aerion as he is still recovering in the bed. His father stops him, and the look on Egg's face as he's staring at his brother is in complete disappointment, embarrassment, frustration. He realizes he wants nothing to do with him or his brother or his father. No, all he wants to be with is Dunk, because that's when he had the best times in his life so far. So as Dunk is about to leave town, he says his goodbyes to Apple Boy. I was like, no, I appreciate the offer to travel the world with you, but I'm good. Maybe I'll catch you on the flip side somewhere. He's about to get on that horse and leave Ashford behind. And that's when Egg pulls up telling him, sir, my father says I need to squire for you. And Dunk doesn't even question. He's just like, you know what? All right, I got you. I got a horse for you right here. That's when they both get on horseback and Egg asks Dunk where he's going. He's like, I don't really know for real. I'll just go where the wind takes me for real. And that's how the season ends. Only not really, because we find out by the end of the season that his father did not actually tell Egg that he's good to go off with Dunk. So this is clearly going to cause some problems going into season 2. As I said, Egg is Maker's last chance to really make something of his legacy in his eye. Aaron is a degenerate and Daron is also a degenerate. All he has left is Egg, so he's definitely going to be chasing after Dunk and Egg in this next season, I'm anticipating. Overall, great end to season 1 in my opinion. Give the episode a 9 out of 10. You know, at first when Dunk turned down Maker's first offer to become a full-fledged knight down the road while having Egg squire with him, I was like, yo, Dunk, what are you doing? But then really thinking about how knights have carried themselves throughout this entire season, that's not at all the type of knight that Dunk wants to be. He came up with Sir Arlen, one of the most honorable men that he's ever known. You go back to earlier on in the season, you hear how Dunk talks about Sir Arlen, and then you go back to what happened in the last episode. Sir Arlen literally saved his life, and it just goes on to become a wandering knight after that. I think to yourself, okay, this man was brave, but he had a few screws loose. He didn't really have respect from a lot of the knights in the realm. That's when you realize it's because Sir Arlen did not sell out. He didn't become a knight simply for fame or clout. He didn't join a specific house after becoming a knight. But he embodied what it really means to be a great knight in the Game of Thrones universe. Same type of knight that Brienne of Tarth strived to be in Song of Ice and Fire. We're going to talk about her in another video, because apparently her character takes a lot of inspiration from Dunk. So I'm going to get into that in a little short down the line. It's definitely not the type of knight that Dunk aspires to be. So him leaving to go on roads similar to his master from before makes all the sense in the world. And the fact that we have Egg traveling alongside Dunk for real this time is elite parallelism to how Dunk and Sir Arlen ended up traveling with each other back in the day. I'm looking forward to seeing how Dunk raises Egg, become the good Targaryen that Lionel and other characters in this season believe don't exist. Overall, I'm going to give this season a 9.5 out of 10, man. There's not really much I disliked about it at all, outside of the episode count, but they did do a lot with the episode count, I must say. Not only episode count, but the runtime too. If you take out the inside of the episode by the end of the episode, we got about 40 minutes of episode for damn near every episode in this season. But the way they're able to flesh out Dunk and Egg's relationship with Maekor and his son, Baelor ends up meaning to Dunk, as well as his relationship with Sir Arlen throughout, and just bringing Ashford to life in these 6 episodes. I think that they did a great job. I'm looking forward to season 2. But y'all leave your thoughts on this season in the comments. Your expectations for season 2. I'll be your host, Chase Harville. We've been entertained, and we go talk soon. Peace out.